BKS presents You Can Draw with Stef Wilson and Kerry Ann.
All right, so we're going to draw Underdog.
Okay.
And we should have enough time to draw a little cityscape around him and stuff, so you're going to learn how to draw buildings and stuff like that, too.
Wow.
So Underdog is an old cartoon.
Underdog is a good cartoon, though.
He's a good cartoon. The tricky thing about Underdog is, I only learned this when I start setting up these You Can Draw segments, is Underdog looks very determined in a lot of pictures. And hero. And the trick is, and we're going to learn today, the trick is to not make him look mad, but make him look determined. Because there's a very fine line between those two expressions. So it's probably a lot more than you need to know, but you'll see when we go to do his eyes and stuff. So what you're going to do is, he has a flat head and a high forehead for some reason. So just go up with a line like this. That's the top of his head. That's the way they draw him. Then come down for his forehead. Okay? Right here from the top of his forehead, he has 3 little strands of hair. Again, animators, we don't always know what they're up to. Now, to position him, I know we usually do eyes and stuff like that, but right here, what I want you to do is give him a big floppy Pluto ear. It's like a big oval that gets thinner and thinner and thinner, like a balloon that's not inflated. Okay? Then you're going to take this line, and you're going to come down and curve it. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to do 2 Underdog eyes and a nose. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the first eye. This is a full oval. So do a full oval. Full oval here for one eye. The other eye, you're going to do a partial oval. Don't come all the way down. Now let's get his nose in there, okay? So that starts from his eye here. It goes out. It's going to seem a little strange until we put the details in. Just round the end as you come out to here and come down at an angle like that. We're going to swoop back to right under his eye here. So what you're going to do is a very long crescent to his eye there. Now as we go to work the details, and you're going to start to see his face. But first, let's give him the rest of his chin. See this here? That's his neck. So we're going to come right from here, about midway in that crescent. We're just going to swing over to meet that line, because that's going to be his neck. Now's where it's going to start to look like Underdog. First thing is, imagine you drew a circle right here, because the animators weren't very detailed. Imagine you drew a circle right here. Some of that circle, I'll do it real light so you can see what I'm talking about. If you were to draw a circle right here, part of that circle would be off of his nose. What you want to do, go ahead and do that real lightly if you want. You want to draw the rest of that circle. That's Underdog's nose. See? And that's Underdog's nose. It's just a strange shape. The only way I can describe it is a circle that could cut off. And from the bottom of that circle...
Didn't you do a Mighty Mouse also?
We haven't done... I did Mighty Mouse as a commission, but I've never done it on the show.
I've never done it on the show, yeah.
So right here, underneath his nose, see this line here that's the side of his mouth? You're going to kind of go parallel to that, but not too much, and swing it down. That's his mouth. Okay? Because he's a dog. What's the dog's mouth look like? Well, Underdog's dog mouth looks like. Give him a little half curl right here at the end of his smile. We don't want it to look like a frown. He is smiling. But this is that determined thing. That little crescent at the end being on the bottom turns it from a grin into a grimace. Because he's a hero. And he's fighting injustice. Now these 2 ovals, here's where we're going to get into the challenge, okay? This is how we're going to make him look determined. First, from right between his eyes, his brow is furrowed because he's Underdog, okay? And he's off after the villains. So they put a little half circle going up like this. That's to show that his eyebrows are knit together because he's determined, okay? And they also do that by bringing his pupils close together. So I draw this one here, okay? And I draw the other one also to the center because he's focused. If I drew this one out, then it would look like he was looking this way. But he's looking right along his nose in this direction. And to do that, they put the two pupils together. The fun thing is, in setting up these you can draws, I actually studied what it is they're trying to do, or what they were trying to do with the character, and it is kind of fun. Now, here's the thing. If I was to draw the eyebrow at an angle, a downward angle like that, he would look mad, because the downward angle would cut into the eyeballs. What the animators did was, they left his eyeballs in a rounded shape. And what they did was, they did the downward eyebrow. Okay, so if you can see, I did a downward eyebrow, but I didn't make it go through the circle of his eye. Wait, I'm probably zooming in too close. There we go. I didn't make it go through the circle of his eye. Leave the circle of his eye intact. So when you do the other one, same thing, go at an upward angle. Then when you color it in, because he has dark eyebrows, he has black eyebrows. When you color it in, stop when you come to the circle. So it makes him look determined rather than mean. Okay? Because he's not a mean guy at all. All right, that is the most challenging part about Underdog. You just nailed the most challenging parts about Underdog. The rest of Underdog are relatively easy. He has a funky shaped head, you got the ear, and a funky shaped nose.
Be fun.
Okay. All right, so let's get to drawing Underdog. What we've got is we're going to draw an ovalish lump right here, just like that. Don't be fancy with it. It's the top of his cape. And on the other side is another ovalish lump. Trust me, it's not sophisticated. It doesn't look like much now, but it would be the top of his cape, his superhero cape. Okay. From that cape, let's give him a sleeve. Underdog has sleeves. You know how superhero costumes are usually like spandex or whatever? His is loosey-goosey. So you're drawing straight out and straight up, and that's the sleeve. We're going to draw a hand coming out of there. All right? Draw a line coming out for a hand. Go up, over, down. Have you ever drawn a maze? That's what you're doing. That's his thumb. You're just going up, around, over, up, again, and stop. You're going to do the same thing with this first finger. Go around, come around, back up, and over. That's a fist, the top of a fist. And here's another finger, just sausages now. Just joined sausages to finish out his hand. That is an Underdog fist. Trust me, I looked it up. Come down for the bottom of his hand, same where his thumb is. And then parallel line, straight line. He has straight all arms. I think he's a skinny dog in a rather large costume. Except for his belly. His belly's really round. He's like fat. Yeah, he looks a little fat. They did not make him look like superhero. Made him look like Underdog. All right, let's give him his other arm, just because we're doing arms anyway. Go straight out, come straight down. Total right angle. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's not a square. We don't need D-square on it. Once again, sleeve bottom, sleeve up, and then just below where you ended that line, just sleeve over. Underdog is fun because he's not really complicated. You can draw him standing, whatever. Once you get his head down, his body shaping and his hands and everything are really easy to draw. Come down. All right. Come down, make a little L shape there beneath the sleeve. Oops, screw that line up there. I'm going to confuse you guys. Make a little L shape coming down from his sleeve. Okay, this is going to be the top of his hand. So come down, start to curve it. And we're going to do sausages again. Now the last finger, kind of like this finger, this is the top of his fist. This is going to be the bottom of his fist. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down, swing around, and back, and stop. And we're going to interrupt that line with the back of his hand. And it'll make sense when you do it. Just go up at a diagonal, over, and give him an arm. And that's his finger underneath his fist.
Okay, if you say so.
Trust me, I'm an artist.
Tommy said, I'm so impressed by your prep on this character. Looking good.
This is actually not coming out too bad. And usually drawing sideways blows me off. I don't think Underdog is that complicated because I'm not making him totally sideways. This is his cape. That lump we drew is his cape. Go straight out. The animators did that. And straight down. There ain't no fancy folds to the Underdog cape. Okay. And this is his cape going over his shoulder. It's purple, actually, I think. His costume's red. Okay. From here, from the center of his cape, we're going to do an oval down to below his fist, right about here. So project where you're going to go. You're going to just make a nice circular line to about there and stop. Now, this is where I think he has a loose, baggy costume, because they actually do a little half crescent here. Then they swing over. Maybe it's supposed to be his pants. I'm not sure. I think they might have cut some corners on the old animation design. So then they did a crescent shape there. And we're going to go up to the back to underneath his sleeve here. So just circle around here. See, he's not skinny, slender. He's pudgy. If you didn't do this little crescent on the bottom, I don't think it would ruin your underdog. I think it's supposed to be the bunching up of his pants. But if you just circled around, you'd be fine. Nobody's looking at Underdog's pants. They're looking at the face. So to do a U on his costume, start right here on the outside of his belly. Follow along his belly. It's a pretty good shape for a U. Then swing it back up the same way that way. Then just go over and make it a U. And this U would be white on his costume.
I like this one. This one's fun.
This is fun, right? From his little pantsy legs, pants type legs, straight parallel line down. 1, 2, this is going to seem weird, 3. But that's because his legs are together. Here's how sophisticated Underdog's feet are. It's an oval. And put it towards the back because he's flying through the air, so his feet are coming back. This is exactly how bad it looks in the cartoons. So you're not doing something wrong by doing it. Big old oval, kind of the same shape there. And then just put 2 little lines in there for his costume. Now, capes are fun. I've seen a couple Underdog capes. They're all pretty simple. So just swoop back. Swoop in, swoop out, swoop over. You have a cape. Okay, you can put a little on this side if you want. Just imagine where the line went and then swing it up. You could leave it right behind his legs. It could be disappearing behind his legs. Put a couple swoopy lines in there if you want for his cape. That is Underdog. Now, just to give you a little bit of color reference, his ear is black, his nose is black. Okay. The rest of him is beige, and his costume is red, and his cape is purple. And I can put some colors in there, but first, let's see what kind of time we have. We can do a little cityscape.
9:45.
We're just doing You Can Draw, Jay. This is the end part of our show where we do a little drawing that anybody can play around with and have fun with. And you can draw along with us. All right, so we got Underdog. He's looking determined. Let's give him a cityscape. Draw a straight line up. Okay, over, down. That's going to be a building. Let's do some windows. Windows are little fast rectangles. Now, when you're, like I always say, it's a reason they call it background. When you're doing background, do these rectangles have to be perfect? No, they're representational. So as long as you're getting them relatively in the same row, do not sweat if they are perfect rectangles because it's background. This is just supposed to give you the flavor, okay?
It's hip, 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 and away I go.
Who's that, Mike?
Tom.
Tom? I almost have to watch this cartoon because I do remember it from it.
You'll know it once you watch it. You'll remember it. That's kind of how I felt.
All right, so that's one building. That's one type of building. Let's do an Empire State type building right next to it, okay? So, and we'll actually do it here, so it'll center in the picture. Hi, Wilson. We'll center in the picture. So go up, go a little past this building. You don't want your buildings to be parallel, because then they'll look like they're all the same size. Go over a bit, go up a bit, go over a bit, then go up and maybe give it a little spiky thing. Come down, down, same lines here. Boom. Now you have a different shaped building. And since you want it to look different, do like the Empire State Building. All the windows in the Empire State Building are in indented strips. probably doesn't mean much, but in other words, they're long vertical strips, and the windows are inside those strips, which gives it a very unique skyscraper look. So you could do those kind of lines. And because it's got like the pointy top, people just immediately assume it's, well, if it didn't have the pointy top, they think it's the Tower of Pisa. But with the pointy top, it becomes the Empire State Building. Trust me. Now, we've got to have more buildings. So what we're going to do is, we're just going to do a couple random lines like this. This is to show there's more to the city going on. See? Just little step lines and stuff like that. You don't got to get crazy. All right, we need one other type of building. Well, you know, let's do a building. Let's do a wider building.
Don't forget his ring, or is it on his left hand?
Is it on his left or his right hand?
Underdog spoke in rhymes. Tom, is it on his right or left hand, the ring?
Because there's an underdog ring. I thought it was behind those fists, but clarify. Give me a wider building over here. All right. Let's do lines for windows, for smaller windows. So we don't want to repeat the same windows on each of the buildings. So we do another one. As long as you're in straight rows, it'll look like narrow windows, okay? But to make this building different, let's do the old-fashioned superhero water tower. So just do 2 diagonal lines. Just lean them in a little bit towards each other. Okay, draw a nice
and his
little
phone
canister.
booth.
Oh, geez, I gotta draw a phone booth? And then draw a little triangle on the top. Little X's. And you got a water tower. We did that on the Godzilla drawing.
We
I think
did do
put a
that
water
on
tower.
that.
He was drinking from the water tower, right? He
It was
snapped
a
it
cup.
off.
It was yeah, he made it a cup.
He made it a cup, and he drank out of it. Okay. But again, we don't have enough city back here, so just come on over. Give me a couple of shapes that look like a city in the back. All right, did we figure out left or right hand on the ring?
No, I have no answer yet.
I think I'm trying to remember the pictures.
Well, his phone booth would be down here.
Okay.
Small.
If he had an underdog ring, it would be on this finger if it was the right hand, or you would see the end of it here if it was on his left hand. So let's just draw that. And it has a U on it. I don't know anything about a phone booth. Do I gotta draw a phone booth, Tom Andrews? What time is it?
9:50.
All right, let's get a phone booth. We can do a 5-minute
Left
phone
hand.
booth. Now he tells me.
Shawnee told us that.
Thank you, Shawnee.
So it's this one, right?
Yes, take that one away if you drew it. Sorry if you were using ink, guys. So right here, you're only seeing the end of it, and then draw a little line. I'll show you a little closer. Draw a little line on the end of it to show that there's a raised letter on it, because it's a raised U. So it's just a square at the end of his fingers.
Right.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. All right, phone booth. Anybody can draw a phone booth. Up, over, down. We're only going to drop the top
Waiting for
third.
somebody.
Okay.
That was Robert. He changed and burst out of the phone booth.
Oh, really? Like Superman. Okay. So I'm sorry. Big rectangle, smaller rectangle inside. Leave a lot of room at the top, okay? And here's why. I'm going to put another little rectangle in here.
Right.
We're going to make the AT&T phone booth, just because that's the only phone booth I know.
Bell.
So make a bell. Okay, this is a bell. So make a little bell, phone bell shape. Okay.
Now,
Phone. Just write phone across the top there. That would be a lit up sign. Now, here's how you do a phone booth. Split that rectangle in half. Now, draw 2 smaller rectangles inside. Old phone booths, in case you don't know if you're a millennial, they actually folded down the
they
center
were like
like
bifold
this.
doors.
They were a bifold door, and they would spring open and spring close automatically, kind of thing. And so you had the glass panels, like this, and then you had the bifolds.
I like.
All right? You can put a moon in there if you want.
I don't have room for that. It's not.
All right, that's my underdog. Oh, wait. Let me, real quick, just colors.
My feet.
So, red costume, red costume, red costume. Okay? His feet are red too. I don't know why they drew the lines in the costume, but maybe it's like red booties. Beige. Underdog is cream color or beige. Okay, so this is the color guide for the kids in case you guys want to go back and color it. Do a better job coloring than I am. I'm, just kind of slumping another. And I believe I don't have a purple here. I believe his cape is purple. So I'll write that in there. So if you're watching. Purple.
Very cute.
This is white. That stays white, the U in there. Okay. This is Kerry's Underdog.
The other way.
Oh, very nice. She did sideways.
Flying.
Let me zoom out so you can see it. She did flying sideways. Oh, very nice. So you did an adaptation of my
I did.
Underdog.
That's why the phone booth is small.
I like that.
Down
He came
further.
out cute.
He did come out cute. I really like him.
That's the whole point, guys. You just gotta have fun. And if you like them, that's all that matters. Underdog. That's not too bad.
Johnny said cape is blue.
Blue. Oh, my God.
Stefan doesn't know.
Blue.
Tom said blue cape too.
Everybody, blue. Kids, if you're drawing,
Thank
blue.
you, Johnny.
Thank you so much for drawing and watching with us. Please like, comment, and share if you had fun.